Hello and welcome to Mainline Baits Carp Fishing TV. You join me down at St John's on the Linear Fishery complex. I got down early this morning. I've had a sort of a good look around all the lakes. There's not really a lot going on anywhere, to be fair. But I did bump into a matey down here who was actually in this swim, and he's had a few over the last couple of days. So I thought it was probably the best place to start. I've gone straight in with 3 zigs because we were here early. But sort of going into sort of 3-4 o'clock, I'm probably going to get the rods in, switch them over to bottom baits, and put a little bit of bait out, and then just sort of play it by ear really. Depending on what I see and how they're showing, we'll go from there, and whether I stay on the bottom or put some more zigs out, we'll see what happens. Perfect. Well, no action on the zigs today. So for the night, I'm gonna switch over to some bottom baits. I'm gonna fish 3 on a spot. I've made up a nice little mix, bit of hemp, a little bit of the hemp and maize. I then crumbed up a load of essential cell, put that in there, and then give it a good old helping of the with the smart liquid. Not only so we've got a good layer of attraction on the bottom, but also so it's rising up through the layers. I'm gonna put 3 little wafter rigs over the top, and yeah, I'll chuck a few more of these out there and we'll see what tonight brings. Well, I'm pretty confident in what I've done today, really. I feel like I kind of eliminated the zigs a bit. I'm fairly sure I hit one as well with the lead earlier, about a foot off the bottom. And going in tonight, the rods have gone out pretty sweet. There's a little bit of bait out there. So if they're having it, hopefully by the morning, we should have one. But for now, I suppose fingers crossed, and we shall see what happens. Well, it's about 7 o'clock now on the first morning, and there's not a lot happened really, to be honest. I haven't even had a beat. I've seen a few this morning, but they are a bit long of me. I think I might have even seen one out to the left, so I'm probably going to leave these rods out for a couple more hours, just see sort of bite time out this morning. Then I'm going to get them in, and I'm just going to start putting solid bags about a bit more to swim, just sort of working it a bit, just see if I can get anything going. If I can get that first bite, and then hopefully I can progress from there. Right, well, bite time, it's been and gone, I think. And yeah, I've got nothing to report. So I've reeled the rods in and I'm gonna chuck 3 bags about for the day and just see if I can get something going, see if I can just get one bite. I'm fishing, I've got a 4-ounce inline in there, with a little braided hook link and a little tiny 10mm wafter. So to tie the bag, I've got the small korda bags. I put a bit of pellet in the bottom. I then put the rig and the lead in. And I'm sort of working the lead. I put a bit more pellet in and then I'm working the lead up through the bag. So the lead sat at the back and the wafter sort of sat on top. Then tuck the corners in, trim the top of it off, and then sort of another little edge that I've been using. When you're fishing a bit deeper water as well, rather than double bagging, obviously to prolong that bag opening, if you get the Smart Liquid and squirt it inside the bag, like so. Oh. Once you fill it right up, it will start to sort of leak out, and then by rubbing it all over the bag, where it's PVA friendly, it will prolong that bag from melting just a little bit quicker, not a lot quicker, but it's just enough that if you're fishing sort of 12, 14 foot of water, you don't need to double bag, you can just fish a single bag and this will stop it melting before it hits the bottom. So, this one's ready to go. I'm gonna get it out there now and hopefully we can catch something. Right, well, nothing's happened. I feel like I've done sort of the best I can, really. I've tried fishing over bait, I've tried the zigs, I've fished the bags. There's definitely fish there, but I can't fish to them where they are, really. They're too far. And there's not really a lot going on around the pond. So I've packed the kit down. There's far too many lakes on this complex to sort of sit here where I know it's not going to happen. So I'm going to get this round to the van now and see if we can make something happen somewhere else. Right, well, I've had a good look around sort of the Brasenose Bank and there's not really a lot going over there. I spoke to a few people, there's not really anything been out. So I come for a walk around Oxley, sort of on the back of the wind, and there's quite a few fish sat under the snags over there in the corner. So, not really sure if I'm going to do tonight. I think it's a good opportunity for a bite today, for like in the next couple of hours, really. So I'm going to get a couple of rods over there, and if I think it's worth staying for the night, then I'll stay. If not, I'm going to have a little mosey around a bit somewhere else, and we'll go from there, really. But for now, I'm going to get a couple of rods over there and just see if we can quickly sneak one out. Well, as you can see, I've got the house up. Nothing's happened today with those 2 rods down by the tree line, but nothing's happening around the lake either, to be honest. I haven't seen anything anywhere. And there's still fish in them trees now, so I think my best option, and sort of only option I've got really at the minute, is stay put in here. I'm going to keep a couple of rods sort of down there towards the tree line. Found a nice little hard spot just out to the right as well. So, as I keep saying, we'll see what happens, and hopefully one turns up. Well, finally, I've managed to catch one. To be honest, I thought I was sort of staring in the face of a blank, given it's the first week of March and there's not a lot going on anywhere, but this one just goes to show the power of just a single solid bag up against that tree line, this one. So, I've got the rod back in position now anyway, so I'm going to slip this one back, and given that it's only early evening, hopefully we might be able to get another one yet. Well, there we go. It's just coming up to first light now. We've got ourselves another one. Probably a little bit smaller than the other one, but I did see some big ones in those snags yesterday, so it's just proof really that if you stay on your toes, you can definitely make something happen. So I'm going to slip this one back now. We've got a few more hours before we've got to pack up and leave, so hopefully we might be able to sneak another one out yet as well. Solid bags have been a key tactic on this trip. I've already showed you how to tie them, but I'm just going to show you now a few things that I've been using. So to start with, the feed that I'm putting inside the bag is a sport and PVA pellet mix. It's perfect, it's everything you could need to put inside a solid bag. You've got all different sizes and colours of pellet, and with that, when you're tying that bag down nice and tight, the pellets filling all the air pockets. Also, with the different sizes, they're all breaking down at different times and just constantly leaking off attraction. Another thing as well that I've been using as my hook baits are sort of the Mainline match dumbbell wafters in 10mm. They're a perfect size to go inside a bag. They're not too big and they're not too small. They stick out perfectly as well. I think 9 times out of 10, the first thing that carp's going to pick up is one of these hook baits. And when you're using the solid bag as well, I tend to use a bit of a bigger hook. So I'm using a size 6 wide, which might look a little bit crude with a 10mm wafter, but the fact that your whole rig is hidden inside that bag, they can't see it, and I've had no issues with it. I don't think I'd have caught anything any more or any less by using different hooks. And with the solid bags, you can use them in any situation. So like, you can fish them in open water to show them fish. You can fish them like I am now, up against a snag. I'm casting to the snag so close you can skim that little bag underneath. And you can use them to fish over bait in the middle of the pond. It's probably the most diverse thing you could use in carp fishing. So if you haven't used solid bags, make sure you do. They might be a bit fiddly to start with, but eventually you get used to tying them and you'll have one of the most devastating tactics in carp fishing. Well, no more bites, but a couple of carp at the start of March, you can't really grumble at that. If you like the Mainline baits videos, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.